This is Adam Marburger, and this is Humans That Build. Real conversations with real people, not just about what they've built in the world, but what had to be built inside them first. No hype, no shortcuts, just humans doing the work. Humans That Build, real people, real work. Welcome to another episode of Humans That Build. The show's designed to share stories from special people making a difference in the world. And today we're gonna have a lot of fun today. I want to send a quick message. There's something I want to say. I experienced something this morning, so I'm just going to kind of rant for a minute. So it's a lot easier to be kind than it is to be a negative Nelly. So 6:45 in the morning, 7 a.m., I'm in the gas station and, this individual was being so rude to the employee at the counter. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, maybe that person's going through something. Maybe that person's had a bad day, but you don't know what the other person's going through. And I'm sitting there thinking about the energy that it takes to be negative over just positive and smiling. So here's my message and here's my rant. Be kind, be a good person. It's a lot easier to be nice than it is negative. And I'm going to tell you, it does something inside. If you're kind to others and you practice that nonstop daily, the world just kind of conforms around you. Things just happen for you. So anyway, my rant's over. That's my TED Talk. That's free. You don't owe me anything for that advice, but I do want to get into the show. I've got a friend here that I've known for a handful of years. What's cool about it is it's like reciprocation in the world. I was on his podcast several years ago, which was cool. And so now he's on my podcast. We've done some masterminds together. We've had lots of thought-provoking business conversations. This dude is just, pardon my language, he's a badass in business. He is an athlete, and he's a huge contributor to the community. So I'm going to welcome Kory Stassi to Humans That Build. Welcome, my friend.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So what's going on today, man? What are we kind of working, really working, or
No,
you got a back-to-back schedule today?
absolutely not. No, Wednesdays are an easy day for me. The chiropractic office is closed. Our optimal performance is open, which is our home run clinic, but I don't really do too much day to day there on Wednesdays. So Wednesday's a catch up day. I got a doctor's appointment with my daughter in a little while, and other than that, it's mow some grass in the miserable. I think it's a bajillion% humidity right now.
Yeah, the last couple days, I try not to complain about the heat because I hate winter, and I almost feel that I would rather it be 30, 40 degrees than 100, I'll be honest. I just don't like that 10-degree temperature that we experience and it
Yeah,
gets dark at 4 or 5 o'clock. That's the
I
thing
get
I
that.
hate really about winter. So I have this geothermal system, and just every single end of June and July, it just has some issues. So it's been 80, it got up to 87 degrees, Kory, in my house yesterday.
Oh,
I
that's
woke up
uncomfortable.
I woke up this morning at 82 degrees and I got fans on
Yeah.
me. So I've got the guy coming out today. I'm not trying to woe is me here, but man, it is hot in St.
That's a
Louis.
no for me. I will say that I disagree with you. I'll sweat all day long before it's 30 degrees. And I try to complain very little while I'm in the office because I got construction workers coming in who work outside all day. And I'm like, man, I love it when it's hot while I'm sitting in 69-degree air conditioned temperatures all day. So it's a little hard to complain, but yeah, I like the heat.
Yeah. I mean, I do like summer over winter. There's no question. So let's talk about you for a minute. So let's talk about entrepreneurship. And you and I have had these conversations. You know, it's not always unicorns and rainbows. A lot of people see the wins and the success, and quite frankly, don't understand what it took to get there. And so I kind of
Correct.
want to
Yeah.
go. I kind of want to go back in time. So let take me through high school. Where did you go to school? What did you want to do? Did you always want to be into the chiropractic field? Just take us through your journey into
Yeah.
your business, and then we'll flow with it, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, no. So, graduated from Civil Memorial, which Bethalto, who knows why they call it Civil Memorial. Um, but I graduated in 2007, went to Lindenwood University for a year. I shot shotguns for them. and then finished up my undergrad degree at SIU Edwardsville. I was pre-med, kind of pre-dental. When I was younger, I wanted to go to plastic surgery for some reason. I have no idea why. And then ended up wanting to go into the dental field. My sister and brother-in-law are both dentists in Springfield. Um, just I don't know whether it was just a change in direction for me. But my sister's best friend at the time was a chiropractor in Springfield, and it was back when like MMA was getting really big around this area. I mean, this is like 2010, so maybe I was behind the ball, but she was treating like a bunch of MMA guys up there, and I shouted her a bunch. And I'd actually never been to a chiropractor before then. Um, I had one injury like right after I met her in the gym. I was doing some shrugs, messed up my neck, saw a chiropractor in time. But before that, I really had no idea what the field was. So, shadowed Dr. Erica quite a bit in Springfield, saw that she was like treating athletes, and I just kind of fell in love. So, from SIU, went to Logan University in Chesterfield,
Yep.
graduated there in 2015. Worked in Maryville as an associate for a year. And then I was living in Bethalto, drove home one day on my way home from work, saw a building for rent, called my parents, said, "Hey, I'm starting my own practice. I need your help." And they said, "Let's go." Talked to the wife at home, and she said, "All right, let's go for it." So started the practice in 2016 January, and been going ever since. Bought the building next door during COVID, which was bought it pre-COVID. Then COVID happened. We were doing construction on a building, spending a lot of money. Couldn't see that many patients at the time just because of all the COVID rules. So it was a little scary time, but came out the other side. Now we have a little over 3,000 square feet,
Wow.
six treatment rooms, PT bay. I have a hormone clinic on the other side that we started last year. So going well.
Yeah. I definitely want to talk about the hormone clinic, but I want to kind of dive into chiropractic for a minute. You
Yep.
built congrats, by the way, on your success. I mean, uh, you've built a nice business, just expanding, making it. What was it? Let me ask you this before I want to dive deeper, but to walk us through COVID, starting a business in
Ooh.
17, those were some good years.
Yeah.
18 and then 19, and then you get punched in the face in 2020. Talk us, how'd you pivot? How'd you get around that?
Yeah, so at the time we had my original building, which we're across from Gino's 140 Club, if you know where that's at. You do, obviously. But we had our original building, and we had two parking spots out front. We had three, but Amber had to come in. We had a light pole, or we had a power pole in the middle of the office or the parking lot, and they had to put a bunch of things around it because people kept hitting it. So I went into two parking spots. Well, we started growing, so there was a Wolf Realty building attached to my building that had been for sale for ever. It was in really bad shape, has an apartment upstairs. It was just not a good situation. So we looked into that, and they wanted too much money, but there was another offer getting ready to come in, and it was either buy that building because it had 9 parking spots wrapped around the side. I could double my size, or I was going to have to move, which is not when you're owning a practice like that, moving even like 2 blocks away, you're going to lose patients according to statistics. So we ended up buying the building next door, and then again, COVID happened while we were under construction. We combined the two buildings. We were I had no staff. We were down to one staff member. Everybody else was at home. She sat in the back of the office. She was amazing. Sue, her name is Sue. She started the practice with me on day one. She sat in the back of the office. She was 70 plus years old. Didn't care about COVID. Sat in the back of the office by herself and took phone calls and did some back end work for me.
Awesome.
Patients had to park in the parking lot. We had one patient in at a time. I was treating, cleaning, sanitizing, billing, scheduling, all the above, working more hours um, than I ever did before just to keep it afloat. You had to. Patients still needed to come in, and we still had to make a living. So we did what we had to do, gloved up, masked up, all the jazz. It was a disaster, but we got through it. Paid every single employee every single week the entire time, and just kept going.
Yeah. I always like to hear the story, through that period because it was challenging. I mean,
Oh, it was
for
a
us,
nightmare.
the automotive industry, I mean, uh, that vertical, I'll tell you, it got challenging, but
Yeah.
then it got really good because it was, some dealers took, I don't want to say, I don't want to use the word advantage. Some dealers went to an extreme in that market. A lot of dealers did it the right way. Our dealers did it the right way, and we
Yeah.
capitalized. It was a very profitable season. The chip shortage. I don't know if you remember that. I mean, inventory was low.
Yes. It
Man
was
was
bad.
high. It was a weird time. Don't know if we'll ever see something like that again, but it was very very weird.
The
So
one big thing, sorry to cut you off. The one big
oh
thing, I
no,
don't remember if you remember like the PPP loan type things,
oh yeah,
but then you basically could show like if you were at a loss from the previous year. Well, that was our growing years. So we did better the first year of COVID than we did the prior year. So not much. So I didn't get any help. So we just had to grind through it. Because again, I had two employees sitting at home not doing.
yeah,
I mean, we didn't expect them to do anything, but they weren't not going to go without a paycheck either. So I mean, I paid them every single week, and I worked way too many hours. Not wait, I'm not again. My job is fairly easy when it comes to physical stress, but worked a lot of hours and just grinded through it. And it was a pain. And I was also building a home at the time, so we were living with my parents who were in their upper 60s. I'd get home, take off my clothes in the garage, throw them in the washer, shower immediately. Because again, at the beginning, looking back. Maybe we did a little too much precautions, but at the beginning, you had no idea what was going on. So living with elderly parents, you just
yeah,
you did whatever you had to do, and it was a couple months. It was a little crazy.
yeah. That's what I love about entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs, we just kind of find a way. We
Yeah,
find a way. We find a way. We're talking about that chip shortage, it's like Ascent Dealer Services was birthed in 2019, and then things were going
yeah,
pretty good, and then so we get paid on insurance products. So if dealers are selling 50% of what they're used to selling, then that means the agency's making 50% less. So
correct,
it was a tough season. But you know what? A lot of people don't see those. We don't really brag about those seasons.
correct, absolutely, yeah, yep,
Let's stay off social media. But
bingo,
I want to ask you, I had a fellow chiropractor, a good buddy of mine. I had Jake Shear on a couple weeks ago. We had
yep,
a wonderful conversation, and we didn't really dig into this where I want to go with you because there were some things I kind of ran short on time, but I really love. I'm a huge fan of chiropractic care, just in the sense that I do jujitsu.
yep,
I've got a long history of doing MMA and striking and jujitsu, and I mean, I'm telling you, I started at 17. I'm 46 in September. I hurt, man. Like I'm
I,
I I
I
am
understand,
I am broken on the inside, but you guys, your field, your profession has saved my ass. I mean,
yeah,
there's been so many scenarios where nothing fixed me. Nothing worked unless I went to see Katie or Jake or Dr. Renee,
yeah,
people like
yeah.
you. So, like, do you think there's still a negative stigma with chiropractors? Because there was a day where people like would talk crap. I'm like, wait a minute, dude. These are doctors in this field.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
We still catch some negative feedback every once in a while. We'll get a doc who says, we'll have a patient cancel their appointment. They're like, my OB or my certain doc said that I shouldn't be coming. But we have some really good relationships with all the MDs in the area. We refer back and forth to a couple different docs. I have medical doctors referring to me all of the time now. We have some really good relationships with some physical therapists in the area that anything that's sticky for me, I send to them. If they have any issues, we kind of co-work together. So I think I hate to say this, but if we stay in our lane a little bit, I treat musculoskeletal conditions. I don't try to get outside of my box too much. So I think the chiropractors who kind of stick with the musculoskeletal system get a little bit. I'm not saying that's the right or the wrong way, but they're respected a little bit more in the medical community. And I don't know. Again, I don't know if that's the right or wrong answer to that, but we have we don't get in my office near the negative stigmatism that um, a lot of chiropractors used to get in the past, because I think the the field has changed quite a bit. I think people understand it more. We're not just crack pop out the door. We do a lot of different things at our office, a lot of soft tissue work, a lot of mobility. So it's not just like that mill that used to happen back in the day.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's shifting a little bit of a mindset of, okay, these guys aren't just the quacks we thought of them back in the day, because there's just too many positive outcomes that patients have had. I mean, millions at this point in time, that you can say that we don't know what we're doing and that what we're doing isn't working, right? So I
It,
think it's shifted quite a bit.
That's good to hear. I mean, because here I know you run a professional practice, and my friends over here in the Godfrey area. I mean, they run well-oiled machines that
Absolutely, yeah.
get results. I'll never forget too. Well, here first of all, what you just said is to me common sense because if you think about it, look at all the medical doctors are just primary medical, your primary care doctor, right?
Yep,
Well, if you got something messed up on your foot, you go to a podiatrist, right?
correct.
You
Bingo.
know, if you got something wrong with your skin, you go to a you go to
Dermatologist,
dermatologist, right?
yep. Yep,
There's specialists in each area. That's
correct.
what you guys are.
Absolutely.
So that's why
Yeah.
you
And
know,
not all back conditions are orthopedic surgeons. So that's
yeah,
why, like, I mean, we're keeping a lot of people out of surgery, and I think that's why, again, we have medical doctors referring to our office all the time, and not just my office. I know chiropractors all in the area that have great relationships with medical doctors and PTs and DOs and everything that are getting referrals back and forth all the time. And I think if we work together, that's the best course of action for a patient. I can't fix everything the same way that a medical doctor can't fix everything. Podiatrist can't fix your eyeball. A medical doc, again, your primary care is just going to point you in the right direction 95% of the time if it's a serious thing. Besides, the simple virus or bacterial infection that you get that they can run some labs and write you a script for, they're referring to the certain specialists, whether that's orthopedic, dermatology, like you said, heart conditions, cardiologists, any of these things. We kind of fit in our niche now, and I think that I think it's changed quite a bit. They used to it was orthopedic or PT, never chiro, and I think that's changed quite a bit now.
though, one thing I've noticed about your field is you guys preach health and wellness more than anyone. Like, I'll give you an
Yes.
example. I'm not going to say the doctor's name. Um, they can't disclose my information. I'm not, I'm not going to
That's
say
right.
the name. It's a doctor that I saw, and it wasn't that long ago. And this doctor was not in shape. Okay.
Yeah.
And this doctor legitimately looked at me like I had five heads because there were a few vaccines that I didn't have. I chose not to take. I'm not even going to tell
Yeah.
you what vaccines, but you can kind of do some math. There were a few vaccines that I didn't take, and this dude was like giving me crap for it. And then it was a very cold conversation, and there was nothing based around health and wellness in that conversation. I left. It was I'll see you
Yeah.
in a year. Everything looks great on your blood work. There was no conversation of how's your diet, how's your nutrition,
Diet,
what are you
exercise.
doing,
Yep.
how many times are you working out? None of that stuff, right? But then
No.
you go into a place like yours, you're looking at blood work and you're looking for ways to help people get healthier and live longer. Why
Yeah,
is it?
that's one.
Why
Yeah.
though? Is what my question is. Why is your field more committed to people living longer, healthier lives than of the others? I don't know
I'll
why.
say a couple things. First of all, yeah, that's one of our main focuses. I mean, one of my, I don't even start treatment before I'm asking your diet, your exercise, your water intake, because that plays a big role in everything. I mean, I can explain your low back pain if you're sitting in a chair all day and you go home and eat chips and don't do anything. Well, I mean, I can adjust you every single day for the rest of your life. We're not going to fix the problem, right? And the medical community, maybe, yeah, we're gonna get an X-ray, an MRI, see if you have any injuries, refer you to orthopedic, refer you to PT, but you're not really treating what's causing those issues in the first place. That you can fix a lot of things with mobility and exercise, or mobility and nutrition, right, and hydration. I think that the biggest gripe I have with the medical community as a whole right now, and again, I respect medical doctors. This is not an anti-medical doctor. I'm not a chiropractor who's against medical
Same here.
doctors at all.
I'm with you.
Yeah, everybody has their certain places, but the medical community. Let's take for example. I don't. You said you're 46, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be 46.
Okay, 45 now. When you were 20, your primary care was probably at a standalone building somewhere in Godfrey, Alton, somewhere wherever you went. He probably knew you, he knew your family, he knew everything about you, right?
Yep.
That doesn't exist in today's world. They're the big companies, the BJCs, the HSHSs, where it's more of a, I'm not saying it's not a bad thing. It's just these docs are they have to rush through care because they're being stacked with all these patients. You're seeing a different physician, you're seeing a different nurse practitioner, a different medical doctor, different DO every single time. They don't know you, so for them to dive into actual causes of these problems, they can't. It's just not. It's not an option for them. They're okay. Here's your symptoms. Here's a medication for it, or here's a referral. and that's all they can do. They don't have the time like we do where we can sit down and learn about your life. If you walk into my office within 2 weeks, I know what you do for a living, how many kids you have, what you did last Friday night, what vacation plans you have, and I'm never going to forget that. And I think that's why like we get people like our office because we're a family there, and I think that used to be the medical community where they knew more about you and cared more about the little things that could be causing these things, and now they can't, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's a good message too for any entrepreneur that's listening, any business owner, anybody that wants to own a business. The customer experience and the way you make people feel, it's everything. You know,
More important than the service itself, in my opinion.
yeah, I mean, Unreasonable Hospitality is a book everyone should read by withDr. And, there's a statement in that book is service is the thing that you do, um, but hospitality is the way you make people feel when you're doing that thing that you do. So
100%.
it's all about making people feel special, and that's why your business is successful. Our companies, and we don't even use the E word at we don't have employees at Ascent. We have team members.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
family.
I love that.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? In our dealerships, it's culture. It's creating an incredible culture. It's the way we treat people that gives us that end result of success.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you because so you're building businesses. So you decided to expand into another venture,
Yeah.
Optimal Performance by Stassi. So, would love to know what motivated you to do it.
Yeah.
B, how long have you been in business? And then C, how's it going?
Yeah. So, um, I don't know if I answered fully your question about why chiropractors are more healthy, and that's kind of why I'll tie into the optimal performance side.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if I have a good answer for that. I think we care more about. We always say the root cause of things and getting back to the root cause, and I think again, diet, nutrition, exercise play the biggest role in that. So for us to preach that, I mean, you have to practice what you preach. Don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. I eat way too much candy, drink the occasional soda, and eat fast food from time to time. But um, you have to, the 80-20 rule or whatever it is, where you do good things 80% of the time and you have fun the other 20% of the time. So I don't know why that shift is not in other medical fields as much. I think we just care more about that side of the medical model. Why I got into optimal performance. So I've been I started my testosterone journey probably 5 years ago. I was at Victory Men's Health, which shout out, I think they do a fantastic job. Um, I knew how much it changed my life. I think I was a pretty good diet. Water intake was good. Exercise was good. Manage stress the best you can when you're owning a business and having children. But I just was exhausted all the time. So got some blood work done, realized that my testosterone level was tanked. So started testosterone again, I think 5-ish years ago, and maybe 6, 7 at this point in time. I'm not sure. But I realized how much better it made me feel and how much more energy I had through the day and what I could accomplish. And I felt like this is probably what I should feel like. And I think within a year of being on it, I was like, I have to do something in my office that provides this service to people because I can do everything that I can do on the chiropractic side. This is a little bit next level, and it's for a different reason, but it's next level. It's going to make. I always want to. Our motto is live different, and what I mean by that is don't just be the status quo you optimize everything that you can do. Be the best version of yourself. And I think that the hormone research and what we can provide to patients these days is next level. So we started the practice. It was a pipe dream for a long time. It takes a lot for a chiropractor to do it legally and correctly. I have very little to do with the actual business. I do all the marketing, I do all the back end system work, and I started the practice. I refer the referral basis to it as much as I can. But as far as treatment of patients, I do zero. I know a lot about it, but I have a nurse practitioner, full practice nurse practitioner who does every bit of the treatment at the office. So it was a long journey to get to the point where we could have the systems in place to do this correctly, legally, and the best way for patients. So started around 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years ago. I think it was January of last year, actually. Um, had an amazing nurse practitioner that we started the practice with, built all of our systems. Unfortunately, that didn't work out the way we like to practice versus the way she likes to practice. She was an amazing team member, as you said, and patient satisfaction was amazing. We just had to make a little transition. So, um, again, we've been doing it for a year and a half. We have an amazing nurse practitioner on that side. Tommy, my office manager, who runs both of our offices, runs the day to day and every single aspect of it. But in my opinion, what separates us from all the other clinics in the area is, again, we just care. Um, Patient follow up, the level of care you're going to get in my office. It's not, I mean, you can go online and get all your peptides and your weight loss medication and your testosterone. Um, I just think we care more about your health and your well being and your results more than the average Joe that you can get online these days. And then we've transitioned into the weight loss and the peptides a little bit more as they become a little bit more of a demand. I think at the beginning of the semaglutide, tirzepatide, all these things, I was frankly, when it first was released, I was kind of against it. Not because just because I was ignorant of the topic. Actually, I just figured people would take weight loss medication, not do anything, and the way weight loss medication works, you have to do some things with it to make it healthy. So I was against it, but adding in these different treatments and explaining and educating patients the correct way to do these things has been a game changer for so many people. And our goal is to change people's lives as much as possible. And I think I'm super happy with that side of the office. It's going great.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. You know, you're solving problems, and
Absolutely.
the problems that I just can think off the top of my head. You know, you got that dad that's 45 years old, you know, works all day, freaking comes home, has no energy, freaking barely talks to his kids, gives his wife
Yep.
almost no attention, in bed early, just an unfulfilled day, right? And then
Yeah.
chances are hadn't had his blood work done, you know. You go,
Ever.
then you make, you know, this guy can be Bob. So then Bob goes to the to the to your clinic. We'll just say your clinic, gets his blood work and realized, yeah, my testosterone is absolute garbage.
Yep.
Fast forward 12 weeks because it's not one of these things. A lot of people don't understand. It
Yeah.
doesn't happen in 2 weeks, right?
No.
12 weeks you might notice, but 6 months into the treatment, I mean, now that same individual's coming home, pep in his step, paying
100%.
attention to his spouse at a high level, if you know what I mean,
Yes. Yep.
and freaking actually playing with his kids, being a contributor, not just into his family, but now more at work. Potential opportunities come from that, right? It's a
Yeah.
game changer. It's an absolute game changer. You
You
know?
don't know how bad you feel when you have low testosterone until you have adequate levels of testosterone. And then you're like, people all the time, they ask me, well, once you get on TRT, you have to stay on TRT, right? I'm like, yeah, but there's two reasons for that. First of all, when you start taking exogenous testosterone, your body's natural production lowers, and it's hard for that body to rebound if you ever got off of it. But once you take TRT, you're never going to stop because the way you feel, you're never going to want to come down from that. And you feel the way you're supposed to feel. It's not like you're feeling superhuman. You're feeling what you should feel like. We just have accepted with our diet and our lifestyles that like just boring and blah is normal. It's not normal. You can feel better if you do the right things.
Yeah, and we're honestly at a disadvantage, and we can go deep into this rabbit hole, and I don't want to, but we're at a disadvantage in this country anyway because of the food that we eat and our food
Oh,
supply
absolutely. Yeah.
compared to Europe and other countries. Like it's like there's big money in pharma and medical care, right? I mean,
100%.
we're so with that being said, one thing too I want to kind of lean into because I dealt with this, and I don't know if you did, maybe you did. When you start telling people you're on testosterone, like, maybe the aunts and the uncles and the moms and dads and
Hmm.
their generations, like, you're doing steroids, like,
You're on
are you,
steroids. Yeah.
like, and I always, it's real important that people understand that this is regulated. You're getting your blood drawn. You're looking at your levels on a twice a year minimum basis.
Should be at least.
Should be.
Yes.
And you're keeping your levels at, I mean, you're not trying to get to 13, 14. You're trying to keep your level.
Correct.
That number is 800,
Yeah.
800, 900. That's a
Yep.
good number to be around. I don't want to
Bingo.
be 200, you know? So with
Correct.
that being said, that's the misconception. People need to understand it's not like you're going to take a little bit of testosterone, you're going to go freaking be a bodybuilder because of it. You got to eat good. You got to
Correct.
freaking train your butt off. It's not a magic, a substance,
100%.
you know.
But that's the same to your point. Yes. I think it's, again, same thing. I think it's shifted the mindset on TRT. Um, I know very little men who are not on TRT anymore that are over 35, 40 years old.
Yeah.
Um, just
Same.
because they've looked at it, they've researched it, they've got on it, and they're like, oh, why was I wasting the last 5 years of my life, right? But to your point about technically it is a steroid, but it's not. You're not talking about the steroids of the Gold's gyms back in the day, yeah, where you're getting it out of a guy's trunk. But even those, like, people are like, oh, you're on testosterone, like you're getting big. That's not how that works in the first place. Like, any guy you see that's shredded on stage, anything like that, yes, they're running a lot of gear, but they're putting in a massive amount of work, and not just at the gym, but the diet, everything. So to your point, yes, it helps, but it's not like a mirror. I can't take testosterone, sit on a couch, and be jacked out of my mind either. So, but it does give you the energy that it's not. It gives you the energy to want to do these things, to want to go to the gym, to want to be productive, to want to be active. So it's one of those things where, like, am I not active because I'm low on test, or am I low on test because I'm not active? And it's the chicken or the egg type thing. But if you start to try to exercise, eat right, and your test levels are still low, get on test, you're going to feel just drastically better.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Yeah, I'm grateful that I met the right person at the right time. I have the right clinic, and yeah.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the business side of things. So what it didn't. I'm sure there wasn't a perfect plan. What was a lesson that you learned along the way? Your favorite kind of maybe setback that you can share when you did start this new business.
On the optimal side, I mean, I've almost closed the office 3 times in a year and a half. If
That's
you
why
want my
I asked
honest
these
answer,
questions.
I mean,
Sorry,
Tommy,
sorry to laugh
again,
at you.
no, for Tommy and I, again, office manager, she runs the entire thing. I mean, she was on a cruise 2 weeks ago, and I had a goal to not call her, and I called her every single day because she just runs it. Moral of the story is, like, we sat down. I'm like, I need you to give me a list of why we should keep this open and a list of why we should close. And if the list of why we should close outweighs the list of why we should open, I'm closing it. Because I mean, a year and a half, we're probably just now making money. I mean, I lost money. I lost a lot of we built out that side of the office. We bought all new equipment. We redid. I mean, computers, software, phones. I mean, we built a new business. It cost way too much money. And then nurse practitioners are not cheap. Like, I have to pay you, regardless if you have a patient walking in that door or not. I'm paying you money to be here. So we were in a hole for a long time, and we just ran into headache after headache after headache. Because, again, to get this done the legal way, a lot of hoops to be jumped through, because you're prescribing medications. This isn't, I know you can buy peptides and all this jazz on the internet right now, but ours are regulated from a real pharmacy. Like, we get actual pharmaceutical medications, right? So, like, you can't just buy it on Amazon. So to get everything done correctly is a absolute nightmare. And we just hit speed bump after speed bump after speed bump. I mean, I felt like I was putting out fires every day, and I was taking away from the chiropractic side, and that side started to slow down. At the beginning, it funded everything, so it wasn't a big deal. But then it started losing, like, I wasn't making any money, and then Chiro side started slowing down because I was taking my attention away from it. I'm like, I don't want to, this is not worth it. I got in this to help patients, and I still want to, but, like, at the end of the day, if I'm losing money helping patients, I don't need to make a fortune, but we got to at least break even, right? I mean, it. Anytime you start a business, it takes a while to grow, but when you put a lot of money into that business at the beginning and it's losing money, it was, I mean, I almost just cut my losses multiple times. But we finally found the right provider and that we have the systems in place that have just been flawless at this point in time. Knock on wood. I'm going to find some here. but man, it was, I had some, I didn't want to come to work for probably 6 months in a row. It was just, it was a constant headache. And I mean, I guarantee you've been through this, and most people who ever started a business have been through this. It's a grind, but when you already have one that's flowing really, really well and was already profitable, and you didn't need the second one, and the second one was more of like, I want to do this, but I don't need to do this. It is hard to keep going on that side, but I'm glad we did because it's came through the other side. It's panned out for us, but whew, it was we had some struggle months there for sure.
That's real talk. I mean, that's real entrepreneur right there. That
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't know that. Thank you for
yeah,
sharing. I did not know that, man.
yeah,
Hats off to
yeah,
you. So now things are going. We're heading in the right direction, right? I mean,
yes. I mean,
that's
you build systems, you put systems in place, and some of those systems don't work, and you learn and you grind, and but you know, when you already have a business that's functioning, you don't have to grind to start a new business. So it's like, is it really worth it? And it was. It panned out, and it's awesome now. But whew, again, I tell you, I had months where I didn't want to come into the office, and I was just like, this is literally my. I spend more time here than home. This is my baby. I built the Stassi chiropractic from the ground up, and I didn't even want to be at my own office every single day. And I was like, all right, I got to figure some things out. We either got to make a change, figure this out real fast, or close it down because it's not worth the headache. But panned out.
Do you see a potential for maybe multiple locations?
For
Still,
sure. Yeah. Yeah. So we will be, hopefully within 2 years, we will grow out. The optimal performance side will need a new location. We're already pretty close to that because the Stasi side needs more of I converted two of our treatment rooms into dedicated for the other side of the office, for the optimal side. And we're probably going to start needing that space. We have a new associate, Dr. Amber Miller, who came on with us in January, and she's already killing it, growing her side of the practice fantastically. So we're already at a place where we need more treatment rooms on the Stasi side. So hopefully within a year to 2 years, we will outgrow. We'll have to kick Optimum Performance out of our office, and that's growing at a pace where we're going to need a separate building anyway for it, and hopefully hire new providers and maybe another nurse practitioner, another nurse. So it's growing well now, and hopefully we will have two locations for different purposes, but two locations.
good problems to have. I mean, I wouldn't even call them
Yep.
problems. It's just that's good stuff. So let's
Yep.
talk. Here as we kind of land the plane. This has been a great conversation. I mean, a lot of nuggets dropped here. Thanks for being vulnerable. I mean, not a lot of
Yeah.
people share those items with the world, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
here, but your failure is an opportunity. Setbacks are opportunity to really study and analyze and
For
share.
sure.
And here's the thing for you and I, our due diligence and our obligations to share with other entrepreneurs. Like, let's share what we screwed up so they don't, right?
Yeah.
so,
Absolutely.
so, um, what are you doing outside of a business right now? So what else is shaking in your life? I heard a rumor. Are you still doing a little jujitsu, or what else is?
So to your point, jujitsu is tough on the body, right? I did jujitsu for probably a lot for a year straight, and then I think we've talked about it. I started training for High Rocks,
Yeah, I saw that.
which is the
Yeah,
new
yeah,
fitness thing. So I mean, I've ran 490 miles so far this year. I'm averaging a little over 20 a week. That's hard on the body, and adding jujitsu that tears my legs apart on top of my legs that are already torn apart has just been like, it's tough. I think Joey Walters, my coach, one of my good friends. I graduated chiropractic school with him. One of my best friends. He's on me. He's like, "You ever gonna come back?" He sends me a text about every single week. He's like,
good for him. That's a good
"Yeah,"
friend and a good
and
coach.
I still haven't came back. But I do like I dropped in for a class, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago. It's tough on the body, as you said, and time consuming right now for me. My girls are in a lot. We have gymnastics 4 days a week. We are at a soccer tournament. That's why backwards hat suntan here is going on all in Springfield for 5 hours on Sunday morning. So um, I train 6 days a week, and I chase them around every single day of the week. So jujitsu has been put on the back burner, but it's one of my favorite sports ever. We went to RAF in St. Louis, the Real American Freestyle, and I went with Joey, Eric Hebner, and some Granite guys who all train jiu-jitsu. You probably know most of them, and it kind of, you get around those guys, you're like, I got to get back into it. But again, with as much running as I'm doing, I just don't have time for it right now.
You're making the right decision. You got a business to run, you got family, and you
Yeah,
can't really have multiple extreme sports at once. I mean,
correct.
we're not
Yep.
20 either. So
Oh, that
yeah,
is the truth.
yeah. Jujitsu, I would love to say I can't at this point. I've been doing it for too long, and I did, substantial investment into that academy and all.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of Eric Ebner, he's coming in August to do a seminar. So I'm excited.
Worst patient of all time, by the way.
Oh, Eric, he's a
He
big.
will call me. He'll go, "Hey, what do you think I should do about this?" And I'll tell him. He goes, "I'm not going to do that." I go, "Why do you even call me?" He goes, "Because you're my only doctor, but I'm not going to listen to you anyway." I'm like, I don't understand why you waste my time on these conversations.
Here's what I say about Hebner. If Hebner wants your bike, he's going to take it. He's
Yeah,
a ferocious man. He might be one of the best grapplers I've ever met. I mean,
yeah,
just
he's
and the thing
next
too, at
level.
heavyweight, he still moves like lightweight. It's just
He
scary.
does.
He
Yeah,
can't stop his takedown. It's never going to happen. You know.
yeah,
So he's
yeah.
been tough.
I wouldn't mess with him. That's for sure.
Oh God, no, 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 absolutely not. So what's the next big? We'll land on this. What's the next big thing? I mean, I know we're going to move in. Is there any other industries you're going to enter? Is there? Do you have plans for? Is the plan to take these things out a decade or two and sell them? Or are they going to be in the family? I'm just curious, kind of what your mindset is on that.
Yeah. So, I would like to get again. I think we're already at a place where um, Optimal can run without me. So to get to a point where I'm just running the back end systems of that was always my goal. I'd like that to be, ride that out for retirement and sell that at some point in time. The chiropractic side, I'm gonna stay at it forever. I love it. I work 3.5 days a week. I'm off on Wednesdays and I close it Fridays at 10 o'clock. So I'm at a golf course every Friday. It's hard for me to ever quit that. At some point in time, maybe when I step back, I'll work 2.5 days, and just bring in associates and maybe some people who want some stake in the office eventually. And hopefully, maybe Dr. Amber stays long enough where she can start to become a partner and we can maybe add another chiropractor and phase myself out a little bit more. But those are my two main goals right now, are just stick with those, ride them until the end. Two is enough for me right now. But when I first started chiropractic, when I first started my office, my goal was at one day, 10, 20 years from now, to see 100 patients in a week. And I mean, I saw over 100 Monday and Tuesday. So, yeah, right now it's the two offices. You ask me 5 years from now, I might have, four other businesses. So who knows? I enjoyed the grind. Um, the problem is, like I said earlier, I don't have to grind anymore with the Stassi side, so it's hard to want to grind again. But it is cool being in the fire a little bit and putting out flames every day and having that stress. Stress is good for me. I like it.
Yeah, well, you're that term living the dream. I mean, you technically are living the entrepreneurial dream. Because your business should work for you, not the other way around.
Correct. Yeah.
But there is startup phase. You got to get through that, through all the ugly. I mean, it's ugly. You
It
get through
is.
the ugly, and then you get to a place where it's like, oh, this ain't so bad. And then it gets to where, oh, shoot, this is kind of good. And then you're like, oh, wow, let's scale, let's hire people, like I'm experiencing for the first time what you're talking about at Ascent. It's only been the last year or so. Because I've hired people better than me and they're in the field doing things better than me.
Yep.
And I'm doing what I do well and connecting, making, doing things online and connecting with dealers and doing the things I want to do. Now, I'm not at 2.5, 3.5 days yet, but I do leave at 3, 4 in the afternoon. I,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, but it is so for business owners out there listening. I mean, that's the goal. The goal is to get the business working for us.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's a dream. So, how can people, follow you, get a hold of you? What's the best avenues for that, Kory?
Yeah. I mean, you can call the office all times. We have Stassi side 618-717-0621. OP is 618-977-6332, and I think I got that. impressive for me. Website opstassi.com. You can go to both sides. They integrate both together. So if you go to our main website, opstassi.com or stassichiro.com, both of them will work for us. Online is Dr. Backcrack. We got famous on TikTok with that handle, and we're just riding it to the end.
You freaking run, baby.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I do appreciate your time. I know you've got a lot going on, and I do appreciate you sharing the nuggets that you shared, and thanks for sharing some of the stuff that's not so fun to talk about. So,
Absolutely.
and we'll talk soon. I'm gonna have you stay online so we can talk backstage real quick. But
For sure.
For those listening and those watching, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Humans That Build. This show's designed to share stories and hopefully impact, motivate you to do just a little bit more. And I will see you again next week, my friends. Humans That Build, real people, real work. See you next time.